as they search for the fourth and final suspect in last week's bus stop mass shooting. This is the first image released of the 17-year-old boy, now at the center of a citywide manhunt. Investigators say Asir Boone should be considered armed and dangerous. According to the U.S. Marshals, the deadline for that teen to turn himself in is now come and gone. And tonight, in addition to a warning for anyone who might be helping him, there's also a reward for information leading to his capture. Action News reporter Annie McCormick live at police headquarters tonight. Annie, this is the youngest of the four suspects police say carried out this shooting.
Yeah, and Brian, that $5,000 reward that's now posted by the U.S. Marshals will be paid out immediately upon Asir Boone's capture. They want to make that clear to people. They say, again, the 17-year-old is the fourth suspect that has been sought. Additionally, they say that if there is anybody that is assisting him, that they will prosecute those people as well.
We will continue to hunt all day tomorrow evening, as long as it takes.
17-year-old Asir Boone is the fourth suspect and still at large. Last night, the U.S. Marshals Fugitive Task Force gave Boone a deadline of Wednesday morning to turn himself in. That deadline came and went. Boone is one of four facing attempted murder charges for Wednesday's shooting that injured 8 Northeast high school students at a SEPTA bus stop along Cotman Avenue in Burlholme. Yesterday afternoon, marshals took the third suspect, 19-year-old Jermod Carter, into custody in the 12,000 block of Academy Road in Northeast Philadelphia. On Monday, investigators announced the arrest of the first two suspects, 18-year-old Jamal Tucker, the alleged getaway driver, and 18-year-old Anil Buggs. Court records revealed Buggs contacted an inmate at the Pine Grove prison a day after the Cotman Avenue shooting to talk about another teen who had been shot to death 2 days prior. Police have said they're still working to determine whether the mass shooting is connected to the murder of an Imhotep Charter High School student, 17-year-old Damon Taylor, at a SEPTA bus stop in the Ogon section. And Brian, the district attorney's office said that two of the suspects that are currently in custody did have their bail set at $16 million. The third suspect's bail set was set at $4 million. For now, reporting live outside of Philadelphia Police Headquarters, Annie McCormick, Channel 6, Action News.
What up, everyone? Thank you for coming back to my channel. As usual, I always appreciate it. So, I want to talk about the Philadelphia bus stop shooting, mass shooting, that just took place about a week ago. As of the making of this video, the fourth suspect has not been captured. And whenever they capture him, maybe I'll come back and make a follow-up. But as of right now, we do have enough information to have a little bit of dialogue about it. First things first, I want to say, as usual, this is just a sad scenario for all parties involved. First of all, rest up and get well to everyone that was shot. Luckily and thankfully, no one was killed. And I say that for the victims and even for the perpetrators of the crime. They are lucky that no one was killed, because they would be facing murder charges right now and not just attempted murder and whatever else they're facing. And once again, we have a group of young black males that threw their life away for the street life, for gang culture, for whatever beef, whatever it was. The end result is always the same. Lives lost, lives wasted, tragic endings, and there's no coming back from this, you know. Now, the 17-year-old is the one that they're looking for currently. He's the only one still out on the run. We have, I think, two 18-year-olds and a 19-year-old, all teenagers, all have not even begun to live life yet. And I can say that because when I was 17, 18, I thought that I was an adult. Little did I know, now I'm 40 years old. I had not even begun to live my life yet. I had not even begun to understand what life was about, all the things that life has to offer. And because of what they did to themselves, they're going to miss out on the majority of what life could have possibly offered them. And, you know, again, once again, we see that this street culture, gang culture, has taken out some young black men early in their life before they got a chance to really do anything, to have an impact. They had an impact, a negative one, but before, you know, they could have done anything with their lives, they're gone. Now, I'm going to be honest with you all. I don't think that they're going to get life simply because no one died. And I'm not saying that they don't deserve it. I would agree that, hey, if they got life, I wouldn't be mad. I always give this perspective, whether you guys agree with me or not. Coming from my background, I do feel a sense of sorrow for these young men, because they honestly, and I'm going to tell you all, because I was a young 17-year-old, 16-year-old out in the streets, selling drugs, doing things like that. You don't really understand the consequences that you are bringing upon your life, your future self. You don't really know, you don't really get it that when I'm 30, when I'm 40, I'm going to regret the life that I lived when I was 16, 17, 18. I'm going to regret not taking school seriously. I'm going to regret not pursuing sports because I was good at it. I was a fast athlete. I could have ran track. I could have played football. I could have been a part of a fraternity in college. I could have, done something with myself, given myself a great career, and went on to have kids and start a nice family lineage that would be proud of the person that I became. You don't think about that when you're that age. At least I didn't. Some kids do. I understand that, but I didn't, and clearly these kids didn't. And here is the end result of that. Now, whether they were told that or not, we don't know. I would believe that they were not, I would say, they weren't really, the idea of what I just said was not really understood to them fully. Maybe they had an idea that, hey, this is, I'm sure they knew what they were doing is wrong. They knew what they were doing is wrong. That's 100%. But the degree of shit that they were piling on themselves, on their life, on their future selves, they didn't really understand that. I'm sure they saw themselves at some point becoming a Lil Durk, an NBA young boy. That's always the street teenager's dream, to live the street life and then become a gangster rapper, where you rap about it and you made it out and you were the one of the ones that actually could have that story, not realizing that 99.9% of everyone that jumps into the street is going to end up dead or in jail, crippled. And if you do get out of prison, you'll be in a situation like myself, where you can't work most jobs, can't live most places. You don't want to reveal that you've been to prison, because if you do, people are going to look at you differently. They're not going to want to associate with you. So, and then all you do is sit back and regret the things that you did in your past. But anyway, I want to touch on a few topics. First of all, I would like to say that I am glad that they called this a mass shooting, and some people may disagree with this, but I do agree that mass shootings happen way more in the black community than anywhere else. I know when we see mass shooting, we think of the term, we think of something that is done by white people or non-black people. And I would say that, yeah, those people do mass shootings probably more so towards people they don't know, random. You can just be like in Walmart and some maniac will come and shoot you up for no reason. But mass shootings in gang-ridden areas, street beef areas, happen almost daily. And I think the definition of a mass shooting is like 3 or 4 more people shot in one instance. That happens damn near every day in gang-ridden areas. And so calling this a mass shooting, it is correct. And I'm glad that they addressed it as such. Now, we have to also look at the similarities between this situation and the O Block 6 situation. I can't help but wonder if these guys got some sort of inspiration from that situation. And in spite of how stupid those guys looked in Chicago and how bad it ended for them, you just can't help but wonder, like, if they thought, hey, that was a good idea to just kind of roll up on people in public, blast them, and then ride away and, you know, live out and I guess take whatever kind of recognition and take credit for that in whatever way they do on social media or in their neighborhoods or whatever it is. Somehow they haven't really said how they found the initial, well, how they found out who the initial people were. But as we can see, the first 2 that were arrested, the first one, the driver, Tucker, he turned himself in and proceeded to tell on the rest of the guys. I guess because he was the driver, I guess maybe he felt like, okay, I'll go ahead and turn myself in, tell what happened, and hopefully I'll get the best deal. Maybe he's thinking he can get out in 15 or 20 years. I don't know who he's been talking to, maybe his family or whoever else. But that is just another example of why it's not even a good thing to associate or tie yourself in with anything dealing with the streets, because the person who drove you all there to go commit the crime is the one who turns himself in and thus drops the names of all the rest of you all. That guy turned himself in. He said, you know what? F the rest of you guys. I'm going to look out for myself now. I know that we are all screwed. Somehow they already know, at least that I did it. They knew he did it because they had a warrant for him. He turned himself in and he proceeded to give the authorities all the information that they wanted in order to get the rest of the guys. The second guy was taken. They found one of the guns that was linked to the crime in his possession. Then the 19-year-old was taken. They're looking for the 17-year-old. And for what? For what gain was all of that? You decided to be a driver knowing what you were getting yourself into. Obviously not thinking, maybe you were thinking that you all were going to somehow get away with this. But you drive them there, allow them to commit the crime, drive back. As soon as you get found out, all right, well, fuck it. I'm going to go ahead and take the best deal. And listen, this is not something that is unfamiliar or uncommon when it comes to the streets. People snitch in the streets all the time, every day, all year, every year. From the beginning until the end, it's going to happen. Best thing to do, avoid that. Now, $5,000 is on the head of the 17-year-old. The lady said it's going to be paid out immediately upon the arrest of this kid. And guess what? $5,000 to one of his broke friends or broke ex-girlfriends or whatever that is a lot of money. They don't give a damn about him. They are already saying he deserves to be locked up because of what he did, which he does. So as soon as someone, I bet there's plenty of people right now hoping that they can find out the location of this last kid so that they can cash him in for that $5,000, because I bet he ain't done $5,000 worth of any sort of help for no one during the entire length of his 17 years on this earth. So to get rid of him and to get $5,000, probably to go waste on something, but hey, it's a free $5,000. Anybody that knows him, that sees him, is gonna be dialing 911 with the quickness in order to cash that in. And that's what he gets. And that is the end result of his actions. He will be the last one taken in, and then pretty soon we're gonna see him all in court. There's gonna be more information, I'm sure, coming out about people being mad at the one guy that snitched, but more than likely he'll get maybe the lightest sentence, which is still gonna be pretty hefty. But like I said, I'm pretty sure all of these guys will eventually go home. But once again, another sad situation. Young black males throwing their lives away for nothing, for no reward, and for no gain, for no purpose. And the end result is, once again, no future, no hope, almost no possibilities of coming back from this or doing anything with your life. And just like that, at 17, 18, and 19, life screwed, life over. Stick a fork in them, they are done, unfortunately. Not laughing at them, but that's what they get, that's what they earn, that's what they deserve. So anyway, thank you all once again for coming back to my channel. I didn't want this video to be as long as it was, but here we are. As always, everyone, we got to stay safe, stay smart, so we can stay free.